Don't be so, oh, I don't have a camera, so I can't start. No, you can rent a camera, use it to shoot. Budget, we talked about rates. Have that budget, make sure that you're having some bit of profit at the end of the day, and out of that profit have a percentage that is going into investing. Devour, research, and reinvest. Now onto the second pillar, which is research. Number one, research before every shoot. Before hitting that record button, be armed with a plan. Don't just show up on a set or on a production, and that is when you are now figuring out how you are going to have a plan. For crying out loud, you don't want to wait till you're on set to start planning those things, because then there's pressure. Time is going, time is money. You're paying people by the hour. That's not the time to now start thinking, so how are we going to do? So I was thinking the job. Please do that before. Do that before, when there is no pressure, when you can have 2 hours to think about how you want to do one shot. And whenever possible, do test shoots. This is one of the advantages of having your own gear. But even if you don't have your own gear, just find a way to do a test before you actually show up on set. I did a shoot some years back, and I did it with my small Sony A6 300. We're working in a studio, like a warehouse sized studio. I had never done that kind of shoot before. But before, the night before the shoot, I had some red headlights. Of course, those weren't the lights that I was going to be using, but there were lights that were available to me, and I tried to do a little bit of setup. I had Veronica with me. Veronica is the mannequin. So, I just positioned the head and tried different lightings to see the best place to put the light and the best diffusion to put in front of the light. And I saw something that worked fine for me. And by the time I showed up, this young lad, small, skinny, I didn't have body that time, just shows up and he just say, oh, put the light here, put this on here, put this on here, put this on here. So confident, oh, he knows what he's doing. And then by the time all the lights came on, people were using their phones. Oh, this looks so good. They did not know the hours that I was sweating the night before, trying different lighting schemes that were not working till I found the one that worked. If you like this content, please take a moment to subscribe and drop a comment. Thank you. Secondly, under research is try out the gear, especially when you're renting. Don't go and take equipment that you're renting on the day of the shoot and then you're heading straight for your shoot. If something is wrong with an equipment or so, the client is not going to see it as, oh, it was a bad rental. The client is going to see it as you are a very unserious consultant. Also, test the equipment before you make a purchase. There's tons of camera reviews out there. That's all good, but please, whenever possible, try and get your hands on that thing that you want to buy. If you know you're going to be investing a lot of money into something, then try and get your hands on it. Rent it, play with it, see how you like it before you put that much money down. A good example for me is Panasonic GH5. I hate that camera. I love the IBIS stabilization. I don't know the full meaning of IBIS, but in terms of the pictures, I hate that thing.
Oh man, I had that camera too. I hated it.
But guess what? My cousin, she loves that camera and she does amazing stuff with that camera. I see the image and I'm like, oh, that's lovely. But you know what? I still hate the camera. I'm not going to use it. Same thing with the Fujifilm X-T3. When that camera came out, so many good reviews. Oh, this camera is excellent. Even the X-T4 came out and it was even more better reviews. And then I actually considered getting it until I got my hands on it. I like the body. The body has that filmic. Sorry, this is not a camera. Third and final pillar is to reinvest. Put money into practical improvement. This one I learned from Elon Musk years ago. They asked him concerning how much he spends in advertising. They only put money into things that would improve the product. For example, they would spend more money in R&D, that's research and development, than they would spend in advertising, for example, because he wants the difference between, in terms of quality and reliability, he wants the difference between his product and the competitor's product to be very wide and obvious. So I've always had that mentality, and if you're just starting out, I encourage you to also have that mentality. At the end of every year is I gather everything that I've worked on that year and I watch through them to just remind myself, okay, we did this, how could this have been better? What were some of the things that I felt I needed to make it better that I didn't have access to? That starts to form a plan towards where I would be investing in. as opposed to just saying, you know what, I want this new camera. Well, a new camera was not the problem. In the project that you did that year, you probably needed something else. You probably needed to get a good second shooter. And so in terms of investing for that year, what you should be thinking about investing in is training someone to help you with the second shooter and not buying a new camera. And then finally, last on the list, keep an updated portfolio. Always keep your portfolio up to date. Have a show reel. Your show reel is your CV. If you were applying for a job in a company, they will ask you for a CV. As a creative, you should have a show reel. You're an actor, have a show reel. I don't care what it is that you do, have a show reel, all right? And keep it updated, because you never know when someone would come knocking. So there you have it, the devour, research, and reinvest strategy. Have these things in mind, and I can guarantee you that you would grow fast. Don't be so keen on, I don't have a camera, so I can't start. No, you can rent a camera, use it to shoot. Budget, we talked about rates. If you haven't watched the video on how to price, please go watch that video. Have that budget, make sure that you're having some bit of profit at the end of the day, and out of that profit, have a percentage that is going into investing. And by the time you've done a couple of projects, you will have enough to invest in a first camera. But what's important is that you devote the knowledge that you need to be able to produce good images with whatever camera it is that you have. If this video has been helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment in the comment section. I would like to hear your thoughts as well. Subscribe if you haven't. There are tons of other videos on my channel. Wealth of knowledge, so much to learn here, and I will see you in the next one.